and a great piece. We're going to talk about women and the rise of wives because we're going to examine this stark new trend because the country, as it shakes off the Great Recession, it is women who are recovering first. We'll explain next. The recession has hit men harder than women, and it seems women are recovering faster. The unemployment rate for women last year averaged 8.6% compared with 10.6% for men. With more educated women than ever before and a female workforce on the rise, are we seeing a shift in tradition? Still with us, Kiran Chetri. Manisha Thakor is the founder of the Women's Financial Literacy Initiative and authors of a blog, we love this one, called The Sugar Mama Chronicles. Sylvia Ann Hewlett is president of the Center for Work-Life Policy. You guys, this is fascinating to me because we are told that women are emerging better and more solid financially than men, but it doesn't feel like it, Manisha. It still feels like we are working harder to keep our families moving ahead.
Well, it's true. I mean, as more and more women become the primary and co-breadwinners, it takes an issue that historically has been a woman's issue, which is pay inequality, and makes it a family issue because suddenly when she's only making 77 cents on the dollar and she's supporting the whole family, everyone feels it.
And Sylvia, this goes across sort of income and demographics. You found that professional women, too, a greater percentage of professional women are the primary breadwinners in their home now.
Absolutely, about 30%. And I think that there are two stories going on, Christine. On the one hand, women have become enormously important as breadwinners, as, you know, they're over 50% of earners now in this economy, but they're not doing well. They have jobs, but they're often not well-paid jobs. We find that, you know, 25-year-old women are doing almost as well as men in the earning charts, you know, like 90% of the male wage.
Really?
But take that 40-year-old woman who's a very accomplished professional, all of a sudden she's earning 60%.
And that's because?
Because women are not rising up through the ranks. They're not getting the promotions. They don't have the sponsors, the senior kind of backers that enable them to get the promotions, to get the stretch assignments. And we're convinced that it's not about performance. Women really are performing as well. They're, you know, delivering the goods, but they're not getting the rewards in the, you know, the rising up the ranks sphere.
You know, we talk about that a lot as well. How do you sort of market yourself? How do you strategically look at your career? Oftentimes, it's just the nature of women sometimes to say, you know what, I'm just going to do the best job I can do, and people will see that and they'll reward me for it. And that's really, unfortunately, not how the business world works. You have to position yourself, you have to sell yourself, and you have to not be afraid to speak up.
And you have to know how to ask for a raise, how to negotiate the right entry salary, because when you do make these right choices when you're young, it really means everything longer down the road.
See, it has such a huge economic impact. I mean, the numbers are striking. Carnegie Mellon research spearheaded by Professor Linda Babcock shows that women who do not negotiate their first salary earn $500,000 less over the course of their career, and men negotiate that first salary 4 times more. And those of us women who don't consistently negotiate our salaries over the course of our careers, we're leaving $1 million on the table.
Here's the fine line. I mean, you can be the squeaky wheel gets the grease, or the squeaky wheel is aggressive and bitchy in the office place. I mean, how do you make it's different the way men and women managers are first seen.
We had a study come up yesterday with Harvard, right? We find that men are twice as likely to have a sponsor, i.e. the senior guy often, who's arguing on their behalf, you know, trying to get you that raise when you're not sitting around the table, you know, discussing, you know, what the raises should be this year. So you need to have this proxy.
Because if women, I mean, it's the mentoring gap. And I know that the CEO that I talked to, Stephanie Sonnabend, is trying to fill as well, and she volunteers her time. It's that women need other women mentors that rather than view each other as competition, they're trying to build up other women and trying to help them. And you're right, you can say that you're the greatest person in the world, but unless there's a senior person above you saying she's vital to our success, it's not going to happen.
Because women are hanging on for dear life. You talk about the on-ramps and off-ramps in your career. You take the off-ramp to have a baby. You come back. You're just trying to figure out where you are in the animal structure of your corporation, and then you're going to go off again, but then you're going to come back. And is it that you're just fighting for survival? Women sometimes are just fighting for survival, and at that time, men have moved past them.
But I think part of it is that for sure, but part of it, I think, is just we're not encouraged as women to speak up. When we do speak up and we ask for those raises, we're judged very differently. We're viewed as the B word, and we're encouraged.
I just said it, so I think maybe you can say it. I mean, it's a Saturday morning, sorry, but I think I said it.
Well, and so I think one of the most important things is for us as women to encourage each other to ask. We may be awkward in the beginning, and we may sound harsh and a little screechy, but we can't be beating each other down as we start practicing that skill set.
One thing we're finding in the recession is that there's something tribal that's gone on, and very senior men go with their comfort zone. So they're tapping on the shoulder and promoting someone exactly like them. So women are less likely over these last 2 years to have this senior advocate. So we've got to get our sights set on that, because it is the way to get to the next one. You have to have someone really arguing for you.
Sylviane Hewlett, thank you so much. Manisha Thakor, and of course, Karen Chetri, my friend and colleague.